Well, and you cover a lot of this in your book, Home and Alone. It came out
Moving
of
alone. Clever,
home.
huh?
I
Very
love
clever.
it. I
How'd you
love
how'd you
it.
come up with that?
Well, I thought about it. Well, you know what was funny? Like I thought that would be, kind of, appeal to the
Yeah.
fans and all that stuff. But then I realized, like, you know, I'm home and alone a lot. Like that kind of fits in another way where I'm like in my art studio all day. We live on a farm out here, I can never leave. I mean, I go weeks without leaving the farm. My wife goes, gets groceries, she's a chef. But there's so much to do around here and work to do and chores and I'm like, I haven't left the farm. So I thought home and alone, that's kind of like that really is it. And I mean, my kids come, my grandkids come. I mean, I'm social. Don't worry,
No,
you're on.
yeah. I,
But that's how I kind of like it. I got kind of shied away when that fame thing sort of hit. It does put you in a different posture a little
Yeah.
bit.
well, and as in your book, as you cover, you've been a journeyman your whole life, right? I mean, you've been traveling, you've been doing so many different things, and it's just I could imagine, at some point too. It's like I'm gonna work on some creative stuff, right?
Yeah.
I definitely have moments where I'll take a weekend and just write the whole time or something, and I
Yeah.
love it absolutely.
And you're right, but you're still, I got to hit a point, and it happens in stages in your life, and there's earning years, and there's kid raising years, and there's work years, and then, and you make choices along that way. And that was one thing that I did do that was smart. Like anytime I hit the cash cow on those movies, I socked it away. And then eventually I said to myself, because my kids were probably, you know, 12. Henry was probably 12 and down to 4 or something like that. But I went like, hey, everything's happening at home. The journeyman sitting in my trailer again, waiting for my shot and doing something. And I'm bringing home the bacon, but life is happening back there. And I forced myself to stop working so that I could enjoy the family part. And it really opened up like there's more to life than this, especially and if you're fortunate enough that you can afford to take a chance on yourself. So those weekends that you spend writing, they might eventually turn into weeks that you get to take for yourself. And put your mind to something. And that's the thing that I think my brother told, he said, the thing about my brother said, the thing about you, dude, is you finish. If you're writing something, it's a book now, brother.
Yep.
Like you didn't just goof around. When you make a sculpture, like you take it all the way and you finish it. And when you're making so I do make that commitment. And if you make that commitment to yourself, you'll get it done and then you'll start to give yourself time to do more.
And when you were listing off all the different type of years, I was gonna say, and the wonder years. I thought I had
Oh,
it. I thought I had it.
oh, that's it. That was, again, that captured something for me on a personal level as well as a professional level. But that felt like my story every week. That those stories were so, and my brother wrote on that show, by the way.
Oh wow.
So he's a writer, and that was his first gig, and it
Wow.
felt like our hometown, and it felt like our era that we grew up in, and my first kiss and my homework and my lousy teacher and to tell those stories every week was that's what this kind of like the home and alone book was a chance to do that for myself. That's what it really was about, like just tell my story to myself because it keeps going so fast. I wanted to just stop for a second and go, it's all too good. What happened? How did I even get here? How did and where am I going kind of thing. So yeah, but I didn't write it as well as the Wonder Years, but I took my best shot at my Wonder Years on it.
That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about the process in writing and even how long it took you to write your memoir? What was that like for you?
Yeah, the process was again. I didn't even set out to do it. I'd never thought about. I'm actually the funny. I just. I guess I hit 65, turned 65. I've got like 6 grandkids. I've got this
Wow.
farm. I've got these lives going on. And again, I just went stop. Just stop. Like what? How did I get here? So I just like I'm a list maker. So I just decided to make a list of like like I was born, then what happened? Then we moved. I was in Philly, and oh yeah, I remember that. And my best friend was Tommy Horan, right? And then we moved. Dad took a job, and then we moved to Bethesda, right? And then I started kindergarten, and I just did that.
Yeah.
And then I looked at that, and then I thought, then my wife, we were writing our wills and stuff too, and she said, you should write that out. So like, if when these great grandchildren, if we've got their college education paid for, and they don't know who you are, like they'll read the book and they'll say, "This is how Grandma and Grandpa got there." So I saw that's interesting. So I started writing it out. And then once I started writing it, like I wanted to make it funny, so I wrote a couple of chapters from that list. Like I just started going through the list and fleshing it out. Like, okay, Tommy Horan, what did me and Tommy do? And like, oh yeah, my mom sent us like walking to my grandparents' house. Then I Googled my grandparents' house. That was 2 miles away. We were walking through Philly at 4 to then I go to my mom like, did that happen? She said, yeah. I'm like,
That's crazy.
what were you thinking? And she said, I thought you could do it. And so like I go, okay, well I get that story now. And so I sort of put the book together, like remembering everything and putting it. And then I showed it to my agent, like a couple of the chapters, because they kind of made me laugh. And I thought, oh, it could kind of be a book. And then I went to my mom, my cheerleader, I said, I think I'm going to make it a book. And that's how I opened the book, is her reaction, which is like, you're going to write a book? You can't even read a book. And why do you think that you're so interesting that anybody's going to want to read about you? And I'm like, great, thanks, Mom. But it never stopped me before, so I just kept marching ahead. But then I just wrote it like every day. So it took me maybe 3 months to write it.
Oh wow.
And then I showed it to the editor. Then I had a publisher, and then then it was like I had to go to English class again. I'm the high school dropout. It's like, that's not how parentheses work. The period goes on this side, and when you're doing quotation marks, and I'm like, okay. So then I had to go through the book again and like correct all the stuff they gave me, and then, yep, you missed a bunch. So the process of doing it was kind of a cool, other weird learning experience, another college course I never got to take, so it was a good finisher to like the grammar part of the whole thing. And then, then it's actually like print. It's a real book. It's crazy.
That's so cool, man.
I gave it to my mom for Mother's Day. She
that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
That was really cool. Yeah.
Man.
Anyway.
I loved the YouTube video for the book ad. I thought that was incredible. And my question would be, have you kind of embraced these new forms of mediums, like new forms of media, like YouTube and all that? And how has it grown and adapted throughout the years, and what's your take on it? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
And subscribe and hit the bell for a whole lot more to come.